This is the Dodgers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hello and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers POSTCAST on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA since 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. My third year here on the Locked On Dodgers POSTCAST. Well, that was exactly what the Dodgers needed at the plate for almost everyone except Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz. And yes, we're going to exploit the negative a little bit, maybe too much for your liking tonight. After a comfortable slump-busting win. Nathan has gone as far as to say, great win. I wouldn't go that far, Nathan. It was a much-needed win. It was a feel-good win. It was a stress-relieving win. Like I said, for most of the dudes on this team, I would say it's even more stressful now for Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz. But let's start with the positive. Let's not go out of our way to dig into the negative because we've had a lot of that lately, and we need to just kind of enjoy the goodness of this game and, just kind of highlight it and soak it in and say, yes, that feels so much better, looks so much better. That's what they're capable of.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Not surprising. You could pick from a lot of guys, but Shohei Ohtani got it done tonight. 4 for 5, 4 runs scored, 3 RBI, 2 home runs, 28 and 29. 420 feet on the second one and 451 feet on the second one. I'm sorry, the first one was 428 in the fourth. Then in the sixth is 29th, 451 feet to dead center field. That one was launched. Just was a really good hitter tonight. Nothing you can say about Ohtani tonight was off. Everything was locked in, and that's what he's capable of, and that's what makes us, or me, frustrated at times. When you see him do that, you're like, I know he can't do it every night. I get it. But in clutch situations, go 1 for 4, but get that one big hit, right? That's what we've been missing, I think. The high leverage situations for him lately have been not good. Freddie Freeman, 3 for 5, 2 hits, both doubles down the left field line. 1 ribby there for him. Andy Paez, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 RBI. Nice night for him at the plate. Max Muncy continues to thrive in Denver at Mile High. Hit his 25th home run of the season. At that point, after that home run, he was 11 for 18 this season at Mile High. Or I'm sorry, Coors in the Mile High City. 2 for 4, 3 RBI as he hit a 3-run home run. So Max loves it in Denver.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
That's definitely what turned the Dodgers offense on, was Max Muncy hitting that 3-run home run there in the 4th inning. They were comfortably up 6 or 7-1 at that point, and they just piled on from there with another big inning in the 7th, 8th. When did they pull away? 6. Ohtani homered in the 6th. I'm not used to these big high run outputs, keeping track of all the runs. It's much easier to keep track of 2 and 3 runs. But the 5th, Ohtani homered. Did I say the 4th? I was wrong there too. So 4th was not the home run for him. It was the 5th and the 6th. Then in the 8th, Freddie with that double that gave the Dodgers their 11th and final run. And, with Edwin Diaz in there in the 9th, it kind of felt like they needed all of those runs as the Rockies put up 3 in the 9th. Not that it was a ball game, but, not what you'd like to see. So should we talk about that now? Or let's stay with the positive. We'll go to the break and then we'll come back and we'll get into the negative. All right. As for more positive stuff on the mound, Blake Snell was impressive again. He did walk 3. Don't love that. 1 run, just 2 hits, had the off speed working again. And I think they mentioned this. Rick Monday mentioned this. I was listening to the first couple innings on the radio, and Monday mentioned that it is strange and unique and a little different that a guy coming off the IL like Blake Snell returns with his off speed, pitches that require touch. And he has that, which is a feather in his cap as far as him getting back to where he was before the injury and the IL stint. Just 5 Ks, but looked very, very dominant. He's now 1-1, throws 90 pitches over the 6 innings, his ERA at 3.6. Vestia gave up 1 hit in 1 frame, 10 pitches to get out of it. Evan Phillips looked really good. 1 strikeout, the rest zeros on 6 pitches. And Edwin Diaz was another hot mess. Disaster. And I don't want to hear any excuses like, well, it's a low leverage situation. I don't care. I don't give a rip. He's got to get out there and put together multiple consecutive dominant outings. And he has not done that. Not even close. We'll get to the details on his night and Kyle Tucker after the break. Dodgers take care of business comfortably in Colorado, 11-5. I am Pete Fox. It's Locked On Dodgers Postcast, the place to hang out when every game is done. And don't forget to check out Travis Rogers, Harry Ruiz, Monday through Friday with the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast. All right, tonight's episode brought to you by Amazon. A big thank you to our friends at Amazon for this limited break. This back-to-school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. We all know how crazy the back-to-school shopping experience can be. It starts with a few items on the list, and suddenly you're shopping for more supplies and more clothes. I'm like, wait, didn't we just buy shoes? Lunch gear, tech. I don't know why they need a new lunchbox. And what's wrong with the old calculator? I have the same calculator here that I've had for, I don't even know, like 20 years. And don't they all have cell phones? Correct me if I'm wrong, but cell phones have calculators. But I know there's fancy calculators. You're taking calculus and stuff like that. So if you need all that stuff, it adds up fast. The best way to handle it is Amazon. Head over there and start checking things off the list. It'll save you a lot of money, and it will show up in a hurry if you got that Prime hooked up to your account. So remember, with Amazon's low back-to-school prices, just spend less on your kids, because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school at Amazon and spend less on your kids. All right, it's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. The fact is, the Dodgers took care of business at the plate. Top of the lineup was red hot. Didn't love what we saw at the bottom of the lineup. We'll start with Kyle Tucker. Not only was he terrible at the plate, made another error in the outfield. That one was a pure row. Ouch. Or as Steven Nelson said it, oh no.
Uh-oh, somebody messed up, and it's time to let them know with who fudged up.
I'm at the point with Kyle Tucker where I'm starting to feel sorry for him. I really am. And Diaz too. I felt like Diaz was about to cry tonight. And Kyle Tucker is so in his head. It doesn't matter. He is renting space in his own head. That's how in his head he is. Nobody else is in there, or everybody else is in there, I guess is the best way to put it. He is like, the look on his face after dropping that ball, just beside himself, wanted to crawl into a hole. And at the plate, he looks terrible. I mean, that's not new, though. but on the road, he's been good. So, you would have thought that, hey, bad series against the Brewers at Dodger Stadium, get on the road, get back to where he's been comfortable. That wasn't the case. 0 for 5. And it didn't look good really at any point in time. And then he makes that error. I mean, that was just a pitiful play. What was he doing? Trying to track the ball down to the ground. I mean, it was brain lock, and it's so bad that everyone is like, what is wrong with Kyle Tucker? And Eric Karros got into it a couple of different times, and he said he absolutely needs a reset. I think we've said that here a few times. You guys have commented that he needs a few days off or maybe a week. Karros is like, they need to fake an injury. He didn't say fake, but they need to come up with a back injury, put him on the IL and send him to Arizona to work it out for 2 weeks, or the rest of the regular season. They even went as far as to comment that the regular season is done for him. Like, there's nothing left for him to salvage. I feel like that's a bit of a stretch. I feel like, where are we? We're in the middle of August. If you send him down or send him somewhere to just, check out, reset, recalibrate, wash it all away, and then come back and try to get the fear is this. You do that, he comes back and he's still as bad. Then you've ruined him for the playoffs. I don't know. Dave Roberts, you could see it on Dave's face too. Doc is looking over at his bench coach, and he's like, he didn't quite put his hands up, but he's just they're looking at each other, sending mental notes back and forth. What do we do? What's up? Right. Look, this team played well tonight for the most part. Defense was much better. Tommy Edman made a fantastic play at second. Mookie Betts made a diving stop at shortstop. This was after the game was out of hand. There was a lot of talk leading into the game and during the game about Dave Roberts holding his team accountable, which is what he should be doing and what you want to hear that he is doing. So those of you that think it's Dave Roberts' fault and you're like, fire Dave Roberts, although I haven't seen that a lot other than from Nando yesterday. I think he was joking. But the fact is that Dave Roberts is the kind of guy to be able to handle this situation and hold his team accountable. There was a lot of talk about it before the game, during the game. So he's on it, and he's saying, look, be accountable for yourself. Do something for the team. That was something they mentioned a few times. Karros got into it. Let's go out there and be good, not just for ourselves, but for our teammates. And that's a nice mental approach for this team that is obviously still very good with high aspirations, the highest to win the World Series again, but definitely struggling. So Dave Roberts is doing the heavy lifting for his team. He is putting them to task, right? This is not an easy time for him either. And that's what he should be doing. And that's good to hear. But ultimately, those two question marks, Edwin Diaz and Kyle Tucker, are probably keeping Dave Roberts and his staff up at night. Honestly. The fact is that they probably don't have an answer. And a lot of it has to do with the fact they're getting paid so much money. But, this is just, it's not even all right, well, he's inconsistent. No. Neither one of these guys is up to the caliber of this team. If they can't take care of business against a team like the Rockies in a game like there was tonight, and I'm not saying it's all about tonight, right? But this was a get right night. This was a go out there and exercise your demons night. Slump buster. And it worked out great for a lot of guys. Shohei, Freddie, Andy, Mookie. Tommy have any hits? Tommy Edman, 1 for 4 with the run scored. Teo, Fiducia, Ofer, and Tucker 0 for 5. So those were the only guys that started that didn't have hits. So that's what you like to see. That's the way it should have been. So when it's like this for those two guys that are clearly in their head at a very, very high level, a very, very ineffective headspace to be in, you something's got to be done, right? I don't know what it is. The fact is that Edwin Diaz just doesn't have it right now. Has he lost it forever? I don't know. But that was embarrassing. He's throwing grooving 96-mile-an-hour fastballs right over the plate. His ball was doing nothing, and he hit a batter again. Unacceptable. Like, dude, I know you think you're the greatest, and that's cool. That's what we want from you. We want you to come out and be confident. That's another thing about Tucker. Tucker just doesn't look confident, right? At least Diaz has that swag on his face, aside from that one little minute when I thought he was going to start crying. But Diaz still appears to have the swag. If I was Diaz, I would say, do not play the trumpet music when we're at home and I'm coming out. I don't deserve it, right? But he comes into the game, gives up a single right away after throwing 2 balls. So four seam, bad pitches, down, in. Then he grooves one a little down, base hit. Then he hits Rumfield. That's unforgivable too. You can't give up a base hit like that, then hit a guy. Then Norby, like, he was just throwing fastball slider, which I know is what he normally does, but the slider's not doing anything. He has no control over it. So really the only thing he can control to any level is the fastball. And that makes him 100% ineffective. So he's just grooving fastballs now. And a 96, 97-mile-an-hour fastball with nothing on either side of it to keep the hitters off balance is worthless, right? Nobody can survive with just a fastball. I'm sorry. Nobody can. Mizorowski can't do it. I don't care how fast your fastball is. You got to have something to mix it up. And the fact is right now that Diaz does not. So Norby gets a grooved 95-mile-an-hour fastball that Norby lined out to center. Then Amador singled to center on a grooved 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Then Sullivan singles to center. Fastball. 95 down and in. At least he had some location on that, but it was a base hit. Tovar, sacrifice fly. Veen, double. Grooved 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And then he got Beck to fly out with the slider. So, the fact is that the slider's not working and the fastball is ineffective because the slider's not working, right? They are linked together. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't know if he has another pitch. I don't think he does. The fact is that he is just out of sorts right now. And I've said, well, bring him in the 6th or the 7th. You can't afford that either. I don't know what you do with him. Listen, Dave Roberts is not an idiot. He's not going to run him out there in a high leverage situation, I don't think. But we'll have to wait and see. So, can he use a timeout reset as well? Potentially. But it's a little different for him because he's coming out the IL. For Tucker, he's been healthy, right? He's been here all year. He's just going through some stuff. I don't know if it's away from the park. I'm sorry. It's this whole thing about it's the new ballpark. They've used this with wanting to call him Sklar again. Like, why can I not think of this freaking guy's name? I used to work with a guy named Skylar Toby. And that's the other name that keeps popping into my head every time I want to think of whatever his name is, the new Dodger pitcher. I am locking up like Kyle Tucker when it comes to that new guy for the Dodgers, the left-handed pitcher. What the hell's his name? Where is that's the Rockies roster. Why am I on the Rockies roster? Skinner Skyber. What the hell is his name? Don't tell me. I'm going to figure it out. Now I'm on the Giants roster. What the hell? Skubal, okay, I didn't look it up. Tarek Skubal. Anyway, what was I going to say about Tarek Skubal? They keep talking about Skubal needing to get comfortable with the mound, with the this, with the that. These guys pitch on the road, do they not? They pitch in other ballparks. This idea that they have to get comfortable, I'm over it. I'm done with the comfortability thing. You know, they don't need to get comfortable this far into the season. I'm sorry, that's not an excuse, especially for Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker does not need to be more comfortable. I'm sorry, he knows where he's living. He knows where his socks are. He knows how to get to the ballpark. He knows the clubbies and the coaches and where to eat and all of that. So it's time for him to put up or shut up. I'm sorry. I feel bad. But the fact of the matter is that he's worthless right now, and it's just not okay. And the same goes for Diaz. But Diaz is a little different because he is coming off the IL. So maybe he needs another few games in the minor leagues or something. Or you just don't put him in high leverage situations. But again, we saw what happened tonight. And I think some of that, there's a part of that is mental, that he doesn't know how to handle low leverage situations. But he's also blown a crap ton of saves over the last 2 weeks. So both of those situations for me really ruined the excitement of the Dodgers finally boat racing somebody and laying it on thick like they needed to. We've been saying that for a while, that they need to just beat someone's backside. And they did tonight. And that's good. So we'll just have to wait and see and keep our fingers crossed and trust that the Dodgers are aware and they are doing something or thinking about something to do. Let's put it that way. Like trying to come up with a plan on how to handle these two guys. And I promise, Enrique and Jenster, I am going to lock in Tarek Skubal's name to my head. I don't know why I keep getting just brain locked on Tarek Skubal. It's so bizarre. I'm going to put a note on my computer screen or something. Tarek Scoobs. So all in all, a good win, but a couple of frustrating performances. So we'll keep an eye on it. I'm sure they're keeping an eye on it. But I think they're both in different positions, different situations. The fact is that for both of them, I think we just need some consistency, right? Some elongated, positive consistency. You can't just be one good game. It's got to be 2 or 3 in a row for both of them. And then we'll start to ease up. All right, let's do that. Good news. We've got time. There's 6 weeks still. All right. Dodgers 11-5 tonight. Braves lost as well, so that's good for the overall National League seeding. Tomorrow, first pitch 5:40. It's Eric Lauer versus Ryan Feltner, and of course, we'll be here to break it down when it is over. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate the comments as always. We'll talk tomorrow, and go Dodgers.